Neptune. It is not the coldest planet, but it is the planet with the worst weather. Lightning, more lightning, insane winds. All of this can be found on this weird planet. Join me as we dive deep into the secrets of the second coldest planet. Neptune is a relatively dark, cold, and hostile planet with wind speeds going faster than Mach 1, or the speed of sound. It is the furthest planet from the Sun. Even though it is the furthest, though, it is not the coldest. That would be Uranus. This is because Neptune still radiates heat from its core, while Uranus does not. Neptune is heavy. In fact, it is around 10 septillion kilograms, making it 17.14 times Earth's weight. That would be enough to take third place for the heaviest planet. But because it is so dense, it is the fourth widest or the smallest gas giant. That means that Neptune is heavier than Uranus, but it is smaller. It is 4.474 billion kilometers from the Sun, or around 30 astronomical units. Anyways, it takes around 4 hours for sunlight to get to the planet, but because of its very far orbit and the oval-shaped orbit of Pluto, Pluto is sometimes closer than Neptune. This happens for 20 years, every 248 of our years. A cool fact is that the last time this happened was actually in 1979 to 1999. But even though their orbits overlap, due to the different orbit speeds, they can never crash or even come very close. The planet is so far away that high noon would look like dim twilight. Due to it currently being summer in the southern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere actually got noticeably brighter. And this is after the sun is 900 times dimmer on the planet. A day on Neptune takes 16 hours and 6 minutes, while a year takes 165 Earth years, or around 89,666 Neptunian days. Imagine having 90,000 days in a year. It is the only planet that is not visible to the naked eye. In 2011, it completed its first observed orbit ever, after being discovered in the year 1846. It was discovered by Johann Gale, but he didn't do it by himself. He only knew where to look because of the math done by Urbain Le Verrier. Neptune happens to be the Roman god of the sea. This name was suggested by the mathematician who calculated its position. Its radius is around 24,622 kilometers, making it around 4 times as wide as our home planet. Neptune orbits at a relative angle of around 28 degrees. These are similar to the tilts of Earth and Mars, and because of the tilt, it also has seasons! Wow! But they're each 40 years due to the very long orbital period. We've discovered 14 moons of Neptune so far, and its largest moon was discovered just 17 days after it was discovered. Its moons were also named after lesser sea gods and nymphs, but this time from Greek mythology. The moon was named Triton, and it happens to be the only biggish moon in the solar system to operate the opposite direction from the planet. These orbits are known as retrograde, the same as the Artemis missions. Because it has a retrograde orbit, it is most likely to be a captured asteroid, which was then captured into the gravitational pull of Neptune. Triton is said to be extremely cold, but when Voyager 2 passed by Neptune and Triton, it discovered ice-like material spewing from the surface. The temperatures of the satellite is around negative 235 degrees Celsius, or around only 38.15 degrees Kelvin. The biggest moon's thin atmosphere was first discovered by the second Voyager and has been confirmed several times from Earth. But the surprising thing is that for no known reason, the atmosphere is growing warmer.
Like the rest of the solar system, we think that Neptune was formed around 4.5 billion years ago. Just like Uranus, Neptune is thought to have formed in the inner solar system, but then moved away later. Another striking similarity between the two is that they are ice giants. Of all the outer planets, Neptune is the densest, meaning that 1 liter of Neptune would be more than on average any other planet in the outer solar system. Some scientists believe that underneath the clouds of the planet there is a large body of very hot water, but it is not boiling due to the very, very high pressure. Near the core, it is predicted to have pressures around 7 million bar. Just like all the gas giants, Neptune has no known surface. Its atmosphere is mostly made of hydrogen and helium, but it also has a tiny bit of methane. This atmosphere is what extends near the core, but then it liquefies due to the extreme pressures. As you might know, Neptune has extreme winds. Even though it gets very little energy from the sun, Neptune has winds that are roughly 3 times as strong as Jupiter's and almost 9 times as powerful as Earth's. These winds move the solid methane clouds at a tremendous speed of more than 2,100 kilometers per hour, or 2,100. For comparison, Earth's fastest winds generally never exceed 400 kilometers per hour. A weird thing is that most winds on the planet go opposite to the rotation of the planet. Neptune is known to have a minimum of at least 5 main rings and 4 prominent ring arcs. The name of these rings is, going from the nearest to the planet to the farthest of the planet, are Gale, which is also the nearest, Leverrier, Lassell, Arago, and Adams, which is the furthest. These rings are thought to be relatively young, and people don't think they'll live for too long. The rings also have clumps of dust, and these are known to be arcs. The more famous arcs are in the Adams ring. Their names are Courage, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, and these mean liberty, equality, and fraternity, respectively. These are famous because instead of being all over the place, they're close together. One possible reason is the Neptunian moon Galatia's gravitational pull. A fact you most probably don't know about Neptune is that it has the biggest field of gravitational influence. That gives it the ability to have very, very far moons from itself. This includes the record holder for the furthest moon from its host planet, Neso. Neso's orbital period is more than 26 Earth years, and it is more than 48 million kilometers from Neptune. Neptune has such a big space of influence because of its high mass, or is very heavy, and because of how far it is from the Sun. Because of how far it is from the Sun has less influence, and Neptune has more. Now, Neptune is the planet the furthest from the Sun, and now you know about it. But there is another celestial body in our solar system that we think you should learn more about. It's called Sol. Sol. Never heard about it? That is, in fact, just another name for the sun. See you there.